Hey, it's Marco. Welcome to Bella Barista, and we're going to look at the Lelit Mara X. So we've been selling the Lelit Mara, maybe Mara X, for 5 or 6 years, and it's been one of the best-selling and extremely popular machines in the range. And I think for prosumer, entry level, and just generally people in the UK that want to just have a lovely flat white or a lovely espresso, this appeals to so many people, and it's also very compact on the worktop. So like normal, all unscripted, made a coffee, we'll go through, spot the observations with the machine and take it from there. So I've taken the camera off the gimbal, and I just wanted to show you how beautiful the classic look of the Lelit Mara X is. It's a compact unit, the real classic brushed steel style, and the E61 style group head there, and you know, the bakelite handles. So it's that real traditional machine, that real coffee shop kind of feel that you're after in your home. So it ticks the boxes there. It's a heat exchanger, so that means it can brew and steam at the same time. So you can make one latte after another, no problem at all. And looking at the fit and finish, so yeah, just to quickly point out, you've got this commercial grade tap assembly here, so really high quality. These lovely ball joints for your steam wand. The steam wand itself is cool touch, so you've got a Teflon pipe in there, so you can move it. Obviously don't move it at the end because it will be hot here, but you've got cool touch. You've got the beautiful E61 style group head, and overall the fit and finish of the Lelit Mara X is, it is a real premium machine. If we delve a little bit deeper into the machine, it's revealing under the drip tray. That's just expansion, that's where the water weeps. But here, if you quickly see, you've got a 3-way temperature range. So depending on the type of coffee you like, you can adjust the temperature of the brew. And also, if you look around here on this side, you've got a brew mode. So you also have either steam priority or brew priority. At the moment, we've got it set to brew, and I'll go on to that in a little bit more detail. But yeah, overall you can see the chassis, the build quality, the gauge of the stainless steel. It's it's all really high quality. Okay, so moving up to the reservoir tank, it's got a nice, easy removable lid, so you don't have to like hinge or anything. And also you've got nice handles on the res tank here as well. It holds about 2.8 litres, I believe. You've got space for a water softener, and Lelit provide them as well. And also on here, on the handles, you've got these adjustable date numbers, so it gives you a little bit of a reminder when you need to change your cartridge. So it's all nice little touches. You've got your cup tray, your little warming tray as well, that's detachable. So yeah, nice finishes. Go back down to the machine. We'll go on to the accessories in a little bit more detail. We have a nice riser as well for espressos, and you want a shorter distance from the spout to the cup to enhance the crema in the espresso. So lots of nice considerations and thoughtful add-ons with the machine. So tail of the tape time, we'll go with the width of the machine. So it is very narrow, so it's 22 centimeters approximately for the width of the machine. The depth, but bear in mind it's a kettle lead at the back, so it does extend a little bit more than this. So roughly 41 centimeters depth of the machine. If you have a quick look at the back of the machine, you'll see that there's a kettle lead that comes out. So you might be able to get one of those L-shaped ones that lifts it up a bit, so it reduces the depth at the back. And then height, looking approximately 35 centimeters. And one now that I've added, cup clearance with the handle that comes with the machine, approximately 10.4, not saying, no, scrap that, 11.2. So yeah, 11, almost 11.5 centimeters, but you can gain more with the bottomless handle. You could get quite high up, beyond 14 centimeters. So it's got lots of cup clearance if you like your takeaway kind of, or your travel cups or big lattes. You've got lots of room there. Okay, so it's time for a quick decibel and SCASE test, just to see the brew temp consistency. So there's a temperature probe in the Mara X that's checking twice a second to make sure it's at the right temperature. So it's a nice addition to most standard heat exchanger machines. I'm going to be quiet now, you'll be pleased to know. So, and you can see the brew temp is holding lovely as well. So anything under 60 decibels is really quiet. And again, this has been on for 20 seconds and it's holding that thermal temperature stability, that brew temperature really well for an E61 heat exchanger. So big ticks in the box there. While we're at this point, I'm just going to move the SCASE away and show you the temperature range that you can do. Oddly, on this, it doesn't go low, medium, high. It goes medium, low, high. Okay, but low is 90 to 93 degrees. Then you've got 93 to 95, and then 95 to 97. So depending on the roast level of coffee, if you like a lighter roast, you can put it on the higher setting. If you want it on a medium roast, you want to go for that mid setting, and so on. So you have this ability to adjust the temperature range, which is really good. Okay, so if I just move this to one side, and then you can sweep around and see over on this side I was mentioning, this is your brew priority and your steam, and over the years they have changed which one is which. So the only way you can find out, depending on the Mara X that you have, is just if you push it one way, you'll notice the steam rises up to over 2 bar. So at the moment we have it in brew priority, and what this is doing, there is a temperature probe before the inlet of the boiler, and it's checking 2 times a second to make sure that the temperature is correct for espresso, or more of a priority for the temperature for espresso. Or if you've got parties or you've got lots of people around your house and you want to just bump it into steam priority mode, it will now ramp up the steam and you'll have lots of power there to make a dozen lattes in one go, or whatever you'd like. So another additional feature which is quite unique really. I've only ever seen it on the Mechanica Max. But yeah, the extra temp probe and that ability, which they call the brew mode button, is a really nice feature on the Mara X. Okay, here's one I made earlier. This is another Mara X. Because we've sold quite a few Mara X's over the years here at Bristol, we get lots back for service, and it's just easy for me to get one from the service centre. But essentially it's 10 screws. There's quite a lot of screws at the top to be able to access the machine. And it is worth pointing out that Lelit have been taken over by Sage, and some people worry that Sage are going to do things to Lelit machines. They probably will eventually, but Sage have got great thermojet technology as well. So there's some things that Sage machines do extremely well. But yes, the Lelit that you can see here, the Mara X, as you know, and you can buy from us right now as I speak, is, you know, a very commercial built machine. And you can see here, if you come in closer, and you can see all the copper pipe work. On this side of the machine, you can see this is your OPV valve. So it's not quite an easy and accessible like some machines. You actually have to turn this screw here. And then if we look at the top of the machine, you can see, obviously you've got your safety valve, your anti-vac valve. This is one of the temp probes. So this is just giving us a reading of the actual steam boiler. You've got your limit stats, and obviously you've got water coming from the top here to obviously fill your E61, and it goes round in a thermosiphon system. And also you can see you've got your water, then your steam water being fed to your steam arm from the top of the boiler. And as you can see, it's very neat and tidy. It has to be for such a narrow, compact machine. But all in all of the fittings are, you know, of good quality. The one thing we have noticed over the years, and this is from our technicians in the service centre, sometimes just like the safety valves, the anti-vacs, the level probes, they sometimes just are not nipped up tight enough from the factory, and you can sometimes just get the odd occasional leak. So apart from that, the Lelit Mara X is a really solid, reliable machine, and yeah, that's just something we have just observed over the years. But all in all, you know, without obviously scaling up a machine, the Mara X is you know, extremely well put together. And if you come around on this side, I'm not going to go into too much detail about the machine, but this is what makes it unique, and it's this Brew temperature probe here. So before it goes into the inlet, there's a tube obviously runs through the middle of this heat exchanger steam boiler to give you your espresso brew water. But this is what's accurately checking a couple of times a second that in brew priority that water is a lot more accurate on the temperature that you desire. Okay, finally time to make some coffee. What I wanted. So this, I like to switch it up a bit. This is our Aurora blend. It's got a Columbia from a volcanic soil, so it's a little bit more fruity, a little bit more acidic, slightly lighter, so it's a medium light roast level. And again, it's made up of all high cup score, single origins, all organic, so there's no pesticides on the crop. And yeah, I like that little bit of fruitiness with a smaller amount of milk. So macchiatos up to a flat white, it's really lovely in my opinion. Okay, so this is where you'll hear the sound of this machine and that mounted vibration pin. It's ever so quiet. And you can also be steaming at the same time here. Also quite like that swept back spout and how you saw the coffee start to appear. Some people think it's too much for the coffee to travel along that spout, this kind of swept back look, but I think it's quite aesthetic. I think it's a little bit finer there, but hey, got some lovely colours going on, so this will be good. Bit of steaming. Quick purge first. Again, the cool touch steam. So I've got it in brew mode, so there's not so much steam power, but I prefer the espresso to be more brew temp consistent and have slightly less steam power on the Mara X, because in all honesty, I'm not making 200 cups of coffee in a day. I can wait a few more seconds for the milk to be a perfect microfoam. So again, I'm just angling it so I've got the milk rolling around the milk pitcher. My thermometer hand is my left hand. When it's too hot to the touch, that's when I know it's perfect. It's getting there about now. There we go. Always do a quick purge after. The milk doesn't travel back up to the boiler. And I introduced a little bit too much air at the beginning, so you can always do some swirls and taps. And also, you can be quite aggressive swirling, because that gives the more of a microfoam consistency throughout the whole of the milk in the pitcher. So don't be shy swirling the milk around, because you'll get a better all-round microfoam as well. I'll wake that up a bit. There we go. Oh, just a nice little bit of sharpness to that, a little bit of fruitiness from the Aurora. Yeah, wonderful. I love that flat white, and yeah, very happy. So the machine itself is a 1.8 litre boiler, so it gives you a nice lot of oomph with the steam power. And as you've just seen, even on brew mode, I've got some good texture going on there. The machine itself also has an eco mode, so after half an hour it will start to cool down, and you can just wake it up by lifting the brew lever again as well. So yeah, again, a nice little touch with the Mara X. So let me tell you about the accessories with Lelit. They are fantastic. Now, most manufacturers, they give you enough to get by, but Lelit go a little extra. So you've got an 14 to 18 gram. You have a slightly larger basket somewhere. You have a single basket. I don't know, no one really uses them anymore. But also, yeah, you have your even larger 18 to 21 gram basket. So already, you know, you're kind of getting more than some manufacturers provide. You get a really hefty tamper with a nice stainless steel base, and crucially, it's a 58.5mm tamper. So if you do decide to bump up to a bottomless handle, you don't want any kind of wiggle room to avoid side channeling, and it's just really good to get a competition grade handle. You get some purely detergent and some steam detergent. You also get a blanking disc for maintenance. You get a group head brush. You also have a water softener that fits into the reservoir tank as well. And I don't know why people still do scoops. They're not really needed anymore, but there we go. So the machine itself, you do get lots of accessories out of the box, including the double spout handle, and also the shower screen up here is a competition grade IMS shower screen as well. Now at this point, what I would say is I think a bottomless handle is a very good addition, because you have a 58.5mm tamper, a nice IMS 21 gram basket. So I would always recommend buying a bottomless handle, and just, you know, if some people are not happy with a double spout, you get a nice clean shot. You also get even more cup clearance as well. So Lelit do also offer bottomless handles, and that's a good addition. To recap, the Lelit Mara X is a machine that we love here at Bella Barista. We have been selling this machine for many years. And who is it for? I guess it's for anyone who wants to have a prosumer machine and also wants to own an E61 style kind of group head machine, like a professional grade, and you can brew and steam at the same time. So if you kind of like your flat whites and your lattes, but also if you want a lovely espresso at a certain temperature range, this gives you everything. And it also gives you everything in a small footprint. Now, we have lots of machines in the range, and there's a few things that I could say could be improved. For me, and it's not just a Lelit Mara X thing, it's the hot water that's always over the side, the hot water wand. So when you do use it, you can't really angle it onto the drip tray, and if you can, it's in the way of the brew lever. You've also the side seams where they have to, you know, fit the panels together. And I'd say compared to some other machines in the range that are more expensive, it's the kind of drip tray, how it, you know, it basically fastens onto the machine there, and you know, there's a bit of a raw edge touch. The feet, they're pressed and you can't really move them that well, like with other machines like the Lelit Bianca. You've got the adjustable feet, so there is some little niggles. However, when you sum up the value of this machine and what you're getting, there has to be sacrifices to have a Lelit Mara X that does all this for you at this price point. And there's not many machines out in the range that are heat exchangers that also give you that unique ability with that extra brew temperature probe to be more precise on the espresso. So everything considered and everything you get with the Mara X and all the accessories, it packs a great punch. And for such a small footprint with a good traditional grinder, you've got a fabulous pairing that really no one really needs more than that for high-end home use. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, please like this and subscribe to our channel, and also drop in some comments as well to get some more engagement going. Okay, cheers.